France to distribute free medical cannabis, launch experiment in 2021.
Here's a summary of the article.
The French government published a long-awaited decree this week detailing how a limited medical cannabis experiment will be carried out. Companies participating will have to supply the medical cannabis products to patients free of charge, and the products will have to comply with pharmaceutical standards, including good manufacturing practices. The list of conditions for which doctors will be able to prescribe medical marijuana within the experiment. The specific procedures for importing, storing, distributing and controlling the cannabis. Professor Nicolas Authier, chair of the ANSM Scientific Committee on Medical Cannabis, told Marijuana Business Daily that an invitation to tender for the selection of cannabis-based products will be proposed in the coming days. Because cultivation of high-THC cannabis is still illegal in France, Authier thinks the suppliers will probably be foreign in collaboration with pharmaceutical laboratories established in France and licensed for narcotics. 5 more months of work before the first prescriptions, but France is now officially committed to access to medical cannabis, he said. As is normally the case in Europe, medical cannabis will be prescribed only as last resort.
This post received a score of 65,000, with an upvote ratio of 92%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
USA started a program like this in 1978 and still sends free cannabis to the original participants every month that was grown and rolled by University of Mississippi.
The only federally mandated grow-op. I've heard it's shit weed. Edit, a word. It is. I went to see one of the patients give a lecture once. He brought his tin of joints. It's a huge fucking tin of 300 joints, 10 per day's prescription LMAO. It was straight swag weed. Edit, at least that's how it was 20 years ago, who knows what they doing now. Edit 2, here's a picture of his tin of ditchweed joints.
10 joints a day? I get that the weed is weak, but that's a lot of smoking law. Weed.
I was reading it phonetically, weed, and really struggling. Then it hit me, weed.
Weedn't start the fire.
It was always burnin' since this joint was rollin'.
You're letting it burn out. FCKIN up the rotation. Puff, puff, give.
Puff Puff Pass has not been a thing since COVID. It's smoke your own stash now.
Or use cigarette holders. It is the 20s, after all.
Haven't heard much buzz about it on Reddit, but New Zealand is voting right now on our legalization of recreational marijuana referendum. The polls are showing it is going to be a close call. Wish us luck, and if you are a Kiwi, don't forget to vote. Edit, since this comment is getting some attention. If you are a young Kiwi reading this who want legalization but haven't enrolled to vote yet, please go out and do so. Legalization is not a sure win at all, and we need every vote. Enrolling is super easy, and if we miss this chance we won't get another for many years.
Greater than the polls are showing it is going to be a close call. How is this possible in 2020? NZ seems like a hip place, at least it was when I visited 15 years ago.
There are still lots of old and middle-aged people who are heavily influenced by American and English conservatism.
Well, inform them that even Americans have recreational weed now.
Informing them that 13 of the most liberal U.S. states have legalized it will not change many of their minds. That's how they would see it.
Even red states are starting to legalize it now because it's an easy revenue source and counters the opioid epidemic, which is devastating middle America.
This is exactly what a stressed-out world needs right now.
Pandemic special.
Oh shit, my glaucoma in France is horrible.
Yes, but only in France it starts acting up.
The second the plane lands, it's crazy, doctor.
My grandmother was absolutely against cannabis until she got diagnosed with hepatocellular carcinoma. She was on a handful of medication, then a second handful to manage the symptoms from the first. She never tolerated burnt cannabis, but she tolerated a vaporizer and ingested oils, and within a few weeks her medication needs went down to pain management, her cardiovascular pills, and the various chemotherapy protocols. It was no way a cure-all, but it was a substantial improvement from the heavily medicated state before she introduced cannabis treatment.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.